Hi guys, Ray here from City Fan TV, and don't let this smile fool you. I feel like not very good, both physically and emotionally after watching that pile of shite yesterday. But talking of that, hey Bernard, how you doing, mate? How you doing?
Arsenal. Yeah. I mean, look, they're
Well,
cheerful about Spurs are top.
yeah, well, they beat City, they beat Arsenal. But here, well, I'll tell you what we're on about. We're here for the day after review show. Arsenal beat Man City 1-0. It was a shocking game, let's be honest. No one did. Honestly, no one deserved to win that. I'm trying to keep this clean. We were bob awful, weren't we? And Arsenal were no better. They got lucky in the end with that goal. But it's the first time Arsenal have beaten us in the league for over 3,000 days. If I'm right, 3,000 days. It goes back to 2015 when they beat us. And first time City have lost 2 games back-to-back in the league for 5 years. It's a long record, but records are there to be broken. Mate, my 2 words to describe that game, bloody awful. What did you think?
Abysmal. I must say, obviously, we did the score predictions. I said 2-1. 5 minutes into that game, I thought, well, I'll take the draw. 5 minutes in, I was taking the draw. I never changed my opinion for the next 85 minutes. 80 minutes till they scored their goal, of course, on 86. Yeah. But I just thought this isn't right. I mean, you could tell it wasn't right. We had a couple of early chances, didn't we? Aki probably could have done better. A great little lead on from Haaland, which is probably the only thing he did. And of course, Alvarez, which is just opportunism that they got the luck we didn't. That could have easily gone in the goal. But that was it. It was awful. And they were just as bad. And you could tell, that Raya keeper has got to be one of the worst keepers. If we're not going to have a go at someone like him, well, what's the point? I mean, what is the point? If we're going to play Haaland, but we know we're not going to get anything to him, what's the point? We joked, didn't we? We joked in the preview show that give Haaland a rest because put the legs in there, get the lads in against Arsenal. Don't play Haaland. And it would have been simpler not to play Haaland because you just didn't give him anything. 4 shots in 96 minutes. That is absolutely ridiculous.
Haaland's XG expected goals was 0.000.
Yeah, and you can't. But at the end of the day, if you're not getting him the cert, what is the point of him being on the pitch? You could have not played him and started Nunes and had Alvarez up there, and we would have been better. And if Pep was going to play like that, and he's slagged the players off. He said the players were, but at the end of the day, they're playing to what he's telling them. Surely,
he set that up very narrow. Bernardo, and I was thinking Lewis and Kovacic ahead of the defense, but it was Bernardo there putting the legs in, and that's great. I don't think Bernardo was terrible. I don't think that at all. I don't think
wasted though. What he absolutely wasted in that position.
You want Bernardo doing his damage further up the pitch. You want him to be, controlling the ball and being creative further up the pitch, not running around in front of the defense. Occasionally, I don't mind him coming back and helping in front of the defense to pick the ball up, but I want him further up. So that was disappointing. There's lots we can to unpack this. We could be here all day. Obviously, no Calvin Phillips. He should just leave because he's not going to.
Well, that's another thing, isn't it? Look, if we're going to lose, and it didn't look as though we'd ever win that one yesterday, just play Phillips. If he wants to play in that position, if we can't play a different formation, which seems to be the problem, we can't account for it. Then just play him and lose 3 or 4-0 rather than lose 1-0, or win the game by utilising other players where they should be utilised.
Well, the thing is, a few things. One, we played very narrow. That was the whole. We had no width. So we had no creativity in the middle, really. Rico Lewis, I love the guy, but he's not there. He's not a Gundogan KDB type. We had no creativity from the middle, and we had no creativity out wide either. We lacked a little bit of pace, and we had no creativity. And you think to yourself, what's going on? And for me, look, honestly, you think it was joking. I wasn't joking about dropping Haaland. Honestly, I tell you what I told my lads. One of my lads dropped Haaland from his fantasy football team. Another one's got I think he's got Ollie Watkins as captain. that's how much Haaland's dropped off. And people will
Unless
turn
you've
around and
got
say, yeah, no,
people like Doku and Grealish playing who can get something into him. At the moment, without KDB in the middle, there's no one to create. Kovacic just turned into the biggest waste of time in the last 2 games I've seen. I mean, I'm beginning to see why Chelsea got rid now. I mean, he can't tackle without going to ground and leaving his foot in.
Well, let's talk about that. How lucky was he to stay on the pitch?
Oh, yeah. I mean, to me, I thought he might have been slightly unlucky to get more than a yellow, but because he did get the ball, a bit of the ball, and he went over the top of it. So I thought it might have been unlucky. But then to do that, in 10 minutes, to do that again within, I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, I know Oliver, he sort of waved his hand dead quick, didn't he, just to stop all the antagonism, but it was just stupid. And to me, I would have took him off straight away. I would have put Nunes on because I thought Nunes was all right when he came on.
Yeah,
I would have put Nunes straight on and took him off. And I think Pep said in the evening news today or in the interview that he wasn't going to get sent off, sort of thing. He wasn't daft enough to do it. Well, he was nearly daft enough to do it. So
he was daft enough to get sent off because he should have been sent off.
And even the bits he did weren't very good.
Yeah.
You know, even the sort of distribution in picking the ball up. That Wolves in this game, he's looked really out of it. He's not. You know, we thought, he's hit the ground running, and all of a sudden he's making us look like idiots.
Well, someone said to me yesterday, the reason he's looked good is because all those games that he looked good, who was by his side for them? Rodri. Yeah. And we have to talk about this. Rodri's not played for 3 games. We've lost each of those games. We've looked shocking in each of those games. And
well, we said it. I mean, it'll come back to bite. Come back to bite us, didn't we? We said, all right, we got through Forest, all right. We managed to hang on, but it's the damage that might be done in the 2 league games. And we said that, and everyone knows that. And Pep hasn't found the answer. Pep hasn't found the answer to. I think he. You know, you think when Fernandinho was playing, we never really found the answer to that, did we? But we did. I think we had somewhat. I can't remember who it is now. We used to slot in a little bit.
Slot Gundogan in the.
Yeah, I'll just say you had Gundo there, didn't we? So we never really found the answer when Ferner wasn't playing, and Pep's now got the same problem. He's got the same problem with Rodri, finding the answer to how we win games, and that's what it's about. Because we can slag Arsenal off all we want. But unless you get in and around the box and have a goal, you're not going to score a goal. We're not going to score a goal if we're having 4 shots in a game. It's just not going to happen. We were unlucky with a couple, and that was it. If at least Arsenal had 12 shots, I think, not a fantastic amount, but at least they were there to get the lucky deflection. At least they were there to put a shot. I wouldn't mind Walker blasting from 25 yards if there's a box full of players. He might have took a deflection and gone in like theirs did. But, if we're not going to do it, all credit to us. At least they did it all right. They were the home team. They had to, had to do something. But it was shocking. But at least they got the chance. They put, they had a goal in the box.
We didn't have a goal. And that's what got me. It's like you'd have taken the draft for 5 minutes. It's like we had accepted that. We were not going to be bothered to go for it. And if we're going to be like that, like you said, well, why didn't we play Phillips from the start? Because Pep's maybe lying about it, but he said when Phillips was there against Nottingham Forest to defend, he did a good job because that's all he had to do. So why don't you just bring Phillips in, let him defend, and that's it, and put Lewis aside alongside him or Kovacic to be more creative, and then let Bernardo go further forward. But as I said I was on Patrick's show. No, I wasn't on his show. He was in a preview on Saturday. I was watching a bit. And I said, everybody's trying to work out how do we get Doku in or Grealish or Alvarez. And I said, drop Haaland. You drop Haaland, problem solved. But then everybody turns around and says, when Haaland is there, he takes defenders away. He creates space for other people. And he's got 2 men on him. He's creating space elsewhere. Well, I didn't see any of that space.
Well, he might be creating space, but no one's utilising it.
But what got me was,
you had Alvarez. Alvarez was just wasted yesterday. I mean, we know he's totally committed, but there's too many players who just didn't look as though they could get involved in how they were playing, in the positions they were playing.
What I would have liked with 15 minutes to go, when he drags Alvarez off, why didn't he take Haaland off and put Alvarez up front? Give them something different. Yeah. Up to that point, they had Haaland there. He looked a little bit disinterested and unhappy at the end of the game because he wasn't in it. He hardly featured in that game at all.
Look what Doku did. Doku came on, went on the right, which is fair enough. Then he went over to the left, which is fair enough. Then he was defending. Then he was defending up to the goal. What's he doing back there? He's not there to defend. He was surely there to attack and feed and give Ireland something to have a go out top. I don't understand that. I mean, even what team goes, all right, pathetic, the time added again, 4 minutes, absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I think it took 3 minutes for them to celebrate the goal from what I could see. It took forever, didn't it? Let's be honest about it. You could boil an egg in the time they took to celebrate that goal. And there were substitutes, of course, and stuff like that. So I think they've obviously knocked that on the head. That doesn't obviously matter unless you're Arsenal, I suppose, behind, then it doesn't really matter that. So you can forget that. But 86 minutes, you've got, all right, 4 minutes plus injury time. And did we look as though we've got to throw the kitchen sink at them for foot? Everyone else would. Liverpool would. United would.
I agree. I totally agree. And as I said on my show yesterday, I like that. I criticise the slow build-up. They're just passing it around. There's a guy on the radio this morning. He said it's Chuckle Brothers football. Chuckle Brothers football. To me, to you. To me, to you. And that's all it was. You're just passing it around. Slow build-up. You know, looking for that mistake. And I say, no, why can't we do it with more speed? Do it at pace. Because when you're passing the ball around quicker, it's slicker. Oppositions have got less time to get themselves set to, get in the right positions that they may have been pulled out of by somebody else. When you pass it around slowly, they've got loads of time. And Arsenal utilise that time to nullify and stifle our attackers. Pass it around quicker. It really was a disappointing performance. Do you know our best player yesterday?
Well, people are giving it. Sorry, go on.
I'm going to surprise you. Who was our best player yesterday?
Well, I give it Walker, but Gvardiol probably as well.
Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish. You don't play, and the rest of the team plays like that. You're elevated now. So everybody's saying, should have had Jack on at the start. He offered control. And suddenly, like, he's a well-beater, forgetting about what he's done. I think he had a little bit of a niggle coming back from injury and all that. But it was Bobbins. Anything good? Stones came on. So it's good to see Stones. It's given us an option. But the massive disappointment for me is that, I was saying before the game, we've got everybody ready after the international break. If we've got no injuries, we'll have a full squad to choose from apart from KDB. But we threw in that kind of performance. What good would a full squad do to us? And yes, it's early in the season. People say don't get too excited. Arsenal will bottle it. I said they're getting better mentally. Beating us in the Community Shield, however they beat us, they got over the line. Mentally, they're better. People forget that we beat them in the FA Cup last season. We were lucky. When we beat them at the Emirates the season before, we were lucky. But everybody talks about our mentality instead, whereas our mentality is getting better. They've done that game without Saka. Martinelli had to come, a half-fit Martinelli had to come off the bench to get their winner. So they were at full strength. So they're going to take a lot of confidence from this going forwards. They know they can beat us. They know from last season they can get towards the end of the season and be with a shout. And I think they might still bottle it, but I think they'll have more resolve, and I think they'll be better. Who do you think? Final question: who do you think our challenges will be? Well, assuming we're up there as well, who do you think the challenges will be?
Yeah, I wasn't overly impressed with Arsenal yesterday, in fairness, but I thought both teams dragged each other down tactically. Pep and Arteta sort of tried to just stalemated each other up till a fluke of a goal. It's as simple as that. But I agree. I think what did we say with Arth about fourth? Did I say? I still think. I mean, obviously, you've got to consider Tottenham, but Tottenham and Tottenham, they've got a great manager. They've got a great. I've not seen them any of the games so far. I've seen all the highlights, but they've got a great manager. They seem to have a good team spirit at the moment, which is important. With 30 games to go, for God's sake, anything can happen. Of course, Liverpool blew up a little bit yesterday, didn't they? But it's just that. I mean, we've got to come back better. I mean, before the Wolves game in the league, and all right, ignore the Newcastle game. I'm not too worried about the Newcastle one, but I thought we'd turned the corner. Obviously, Rodri getting sent off against Forest didn't help. Of course, it didn't. But I thought we had enough, and it's not to me back a bit. I think it's not some of the fact. We're positive, of course we are. It's only 8 games. We've got 30 games to turn it round. We're not gonna start panicking. We only need another 22 points, and we're safe. Aren't we? We've got 40 points, so we're safe. That's no problem. We might struggle a bit, but we'll get there. No, usual suspects, mate. I think, as you say, Arsenal. I thought we didn't give them too much credit at the start of the season, but Arsenal, Liverpool. I think Spurs will die out. Villa, you got to look at someone like Villa as well. I think it might be the closest one for all. It might be 4 or 5 going for it into the last half a dozen games, something like that. It might be this season, or we could be 20 points clear. So who knows? Who knows?
Right, I'll tell you now. I guarantee we will not be 20 points clear. I guarantee. If we're 20 points clear with 6 games to go, I'll wear a United top for a week.
Well, put it this way, it'll tell us a lot, won't it? Our next 2 league games, that's for sure. Brighton and United. So that'll be interesting.
Well, there you go, guys. Well, a disappointing performance, all right. Arsenal were crap. We were crapper. Rodri, we're suffering because of you, mate. Kovacic, you were bobbins, man. You were lucky to see on the pitch. Rest of the guys, you got to up your game. Thanks a lot, Bernard, mate. You look after yourself. Cheer up during the international break. We might have a smile on our faces by the end. See you around, Blues.